Okay, so let's recap here.
Okay, you have the floor.
3 years ago, I let you convince me that it would be fun to make a Preds fan reaction video after every Preds game.
You're right so far.
You put my heart through hell having to analyze Preds games like the Halloween night game of 2019 against this Flames team when the Preds blew a 4-1 second intermission lead. And then I continued with you later that season in February of 2020 when they pulled victory from the jaws of defeat with Granlund's, yes, it had to be Granlund again, his miracle goal with 2/10 of a second left in regulation, and then his overtime win. And then we have this game tonight.
Fun, isn't it?
And to top it all off, today's game was on UC's birthday, and he almost lost.
Yeah, and just imagine what it's going to be like with these two teams in a first-round playoff matchup.
Wait, what now?
Preds tie the Calgary Flames by a score of 2-2. And then everybody's hands go up, way up, as the Nashville Predators defeat the Calgary Flames in the gimmick by a score of 1-0, thus winning the game 3-2, thus earning a crucial 2 points in the overall standings with just 5 games left to go in the regular season schedule, trying to clinch a playoff spot. A night after this team gets huge help on the out-of-town scoreboard with Vegas losing to the Devils somehow, Dallas losing in Vancouver, this team makes up for whatever the hell Sunday was. Their number one line shows up with 2 big goals, including the shootout winner, also by this number one line. And their goalie gets a huge rebound victory on his birthday. I would have been so ticked off if this team didn't pick itself up, clean itself off, and make up for whatever the hell Sunday was and let down their goalie on his 27th birthday. Preds have 6 games left in their schedule heading into this one as they play the first of 2 games in a week against a team they could very well be playing in the first round if everything shakes out a certain way. Yeah, the Flames are playing the second game on back-to-back nights, but the Preds are also playing for the 3rd time in 4 days. No advantage for rest for either team, really. Preds with some good jump early. They get a 2-on-1 already 2 minutes into the game. Tomasino, he's got Cunnin with him right in on the Flames goalie. Vladimir is in net for the Flames. Tomasino keeps it, but he shoots it wide. Preds come close some opportunities early in that first period, but they have to cash in because you know this Flames team has a second gear that always kicks in later in the game. During the first TV timeout of this game, former Pred Calle Jarnkrok, finally, Calle Jarnkrok gets his well-deserved tribute video on the Bridgestone Arena Jumbotron. If you have forgotten, I'm sure you remember that, in fact, he was picked by Seattle in the expansion draft, but in the season opener when Nashville played Seattle, Jarnkrok didn't play in that game. And then Seattle never came to Nashville at all this season. Nashville had 2 more games in Seattle, so no way to pay tribute then. But then at the trade deadline, Calgary acquired Jarnkrok. So finally, Jarnkrok gets the thanks you video that he deserves for all his years of service, especially because he was protected from Vegas taking him over James Neal. Not to bring up bad memories for any James Neal defenders out there. So Craig Smith, Victor Arvidsson, Peter Laviolette, Matt Irwin, and now Calle Jarnkrok have all had tribute videos on the Bridgestone Arena Jumbotron. I think that covers everybody, right? Fast forward to about 9 minutes left to go in the first. Preds with an excellent opportunity, one of the great chances they had early in this game to open the scoring. Forsberg wraps around the Flames net, beats Vladimir, but he can't beat the post. Ping, and it's still scoreless. Then it's the Flames' turn to have a close call of opening the scoring as Forsberg would take a slashing call on Johnny Gaudreau. And on a preceding power play for the Flames, they come ever so close. Puck comes right to Saros' right. Tyler Toffoli right on the doorstep, but the puck bounces over his stick. Preds escape a power play goal being scored against them, and they kill off the penalty. Then Ryan Johansson has a close call. He's got Vladimir down with about 2 minutes left in the first period, but he can't beat the Flames goalie. Flames with some good zone time to finish out the first, but the Preds defend well. Very impressive for the Preds against this high-powered Flames team to be scoreless after the first 20 minutes, and the Preds are out shooting the Flames by a total of 9-5. Flames with some jump early in the second period, led by their leading goal scorer, Johnny Gaudreau. Flames bend the Preds, but they do not break, and we play on. And to the Preds' credit, soon after that initial stretch by the Flames, the Preds would draw a Flames penalty, a Matthew Tkachuk roughing call, and the Preds would go to the power play. On the ensuing power play, Philip Forsberg would get it over to Matt Duchene, who takes a shot, and the puck deflects off of former Pred Eric Gudbranson, and because it deflected off of Eric Gudbranson, it just missed landing on Ryan Johansson's stick, who had a great chance to make it 1-0 Preds, but the Flames escaped that danger. Preds get another close call as about 5 minutes into the middle frame, you've got Calle Jarnkrok and his teammate Johnny Gaudreau on a 2-on-1. Calle Jarnkrok keeps it, beats Saros, but it rings off of the post and we're still scoreless. Who is going to blank first? Now, the herd line historically this season for the Preds is either good at creating scoring chances and getting goals or creating power plays, and that's what they do here. As on a drive into the Flames net, right in on Vodarov, you've got the herd line, Janot and Trennan and Sissons all crashing the net, and the Preds draw a power play out of it as Zadorov hooks Yakov Trenin. Early in the power play for the Preds, what are they famous for doing? Not always letting it be scored against them, but they're always good for stressing you out by allowing the shorthanded team to get an odd-man breakaway or a 2-on-1, and that's what the Flames do at first, with them getting a 2-on-1, Mangiapane, but he's stopped by Saros. Play would continue. Preds bring the puck back into the Flames zone on the power play. You've got Ryan Johansson with the puck, and he gets it over to his buddy. You all can see the jersey. You don't know what's coming. Johansson's pass comes over to Phil Forsberg, who's ready for the one-timer, and he beats Woodare. Preds lead this game 1-0. That is Philip Forsberg's 39th goal of the season. He wants to hit 40. With the secondary assist on that Forsberg opening goal, Roman Josi is now the first defenseman in the NHL to achieve 90 points in a season since Ray Bourque did it back in the 93-94 season. Flames, of course, do not quit. We can't expect them to, and soon after that, they have the Preds hemmed in their zone. Borievsky's stick breaks. He's forced to play with Eli Toivonen's stick. Toivonen without one as they defend well. Finally, get a whistle and can catch their breath. Just under 8 minutes left in the second period, the Preds' first line is added again. Now, the first line rushes into the Flames zone with good speed that the Flames cannot contain. You've got Ryan Johansson, who comes over to the right wing board. He gets it over to Forsberg while Duchene's momentum carries him over into the Flames' crease area. And Forsberg takes a shot, expecting maybe a goal, maybe a rebound, as Duchene comes out front. The rebound is sitting right there. Duchene gets a shot off that goes off of Woodar and then off of a Flames defensive forward and then back into the net as Duchene falls, but it's in the net. The Preds have a 2-0 lead on the Flames. Before I pay attention to the milestone that goal was that made it 2-0 Preds, shame on the NHL statisticians for not giving Granlund and Forsberg an assist on that goal. Without those two, that goal totally doesn't happen. Now, not to undersell it, it totally deserves the credit I'm about to give it. That goal by Matt Duchene is his 40th of the season. It has been almost 23 complete seasons of Preds hockey, and they have never had a 40-goal scorer until now. Yeah, maybe we all thought that it was going to be Forsberg who hit 40, but he's right on Duchene's footsteps. He can still overtake it. It's going to be fun to see which one of those two ends up with more goals this season. But I think it's safe to say that Forsberg is going to hit 40 this season, and boy, is it going to be memorable. No matter what happens in the playoffs, that'll just be icing on the cake. But for the regular season, to have finally a season for this franchise with two 40-goal scorers in a single season. And let me also not undersell the classy move by Filip Forsberg going to get that puck so that Matt Duchene can remember this historic franchise moment. Unfortunately, we would all be a little deflated about 3 minutes later. Matt Duchene cross-checks Rasmus Anderson and the Flames would go on the power play, where soon after, on that power play's commencement, the puck is worked down low. Matthew Tkachuk gets across ice to Mangiapane, who's able to tap it home past Saros, cutting the Preds' lead to 2-1. Preds would get a power play of their own in the final few moments of the second period. Clock winds down. We have hit 40 minutes played. Preds lead the Flames 2-1. Impressively still outshooting the Flames now by a total of 19-12. Flames have a chance early. You've got Lindholm with Saros down. All he's got to do is shoot high and into the top of the net, but Forsberg back checks perfectly and prevents Lindholm from getting that shot off. Preds' first line is still energetic, still doesn't want to lose this game. They get a great chance to restore the Preds' 2-goal lead, but Vladar keeps it from getting any worse. But alas, the Preds can only keep the Flames at bay for so long, because almost 7 minutes into the third period, Flames rush into the Preds zone. Toffoli takes a shot. His stick breaks that the refs didn't call. That was a little shady. You hope that didn't come back to bite the Preds at the time. Puck follows through, comes over to Mangiapane. He beats Saros, and now we're all tied at 2. We reach the latter half of the third period. Preds a little nervous, as well as the fan base, that yeah, we want to get the 2 points out of this, but we also don't want to let the Flames get 2 and us get nothing. There's under 9 minutes left to go in the third period in regulation. You got Matt Benning just inside the Flames goal. He takes a shot. It appears to be tipped in by Sissons. Preds fans at home, Preds fans in that corner, all thought it was in. Even Willie Donick on Bally Sports thought it was in, but it hit the crossbar and stayed out. We're still tied at 2. Preds appear to be in trouble a little bit later as Jeannot trips Tanev, but fortunately, about 54 seconds after that, much to the Flames' protest, Mangiapane commits interference with Sissons, so Preds out of danger from having to kill off a full 2-minute power play, and we play 4-on-4. Preds kill off Jeannot's penalty, but are unable to capitalize on Mangiapane's penalty as we reach 5 minutes left to go in the third period in regulation. And you've got Forsberg, who gets a great opportunity to beat Vladar, but Vladar makes the save there. Under 3 minutes left to go in regulation, you got Matt Duchene in the Flames zone. He can't create a good shooting lane or a pass lane, even though he's got room to skate. He can't get anywhere close to try and get a pass Vladar, and we're still tied at 2. Preds pushing as we get under 3 minutes, and then 2 minutes left to go in regulation. The herd line doing herd line things, where you've got Jeannot on his knees, able to keep control of the puck. He gets over to Yakov Trenin with a great chance to make it 3-2, but Vladar stops him too. Flames with one more possession into the Preds zone. Clock lines down in regulation, tied at 2. Preds outshooting the Flames by a total of 24-19. Preds are now playing in their first overtime game since last Tuesday night in Bridgestone against the San Jose Sharks. First chance of overtime is for the Preds as Filip Forsberg carries the puck all by himself from his defensive zone all the way into the Flames' offensive zone and gets right in on Vladar, who makes the save. Teams trade chances over the next minute or so in overtime. You've got Johansson right into the Flames zone, in on Vladar, but he stopped. Then the Flames have a 2-on-1. You've got Mangiapane looking for a hat trick, but he can't beat Saros. Now we reach about a minute and a quarter left to go in the overtime period, and there's a whistle, and it looks like, at least according to the Bally Sports feed that accurately shows as much, that the Flames are going to get called for too many men on the ice. There are clearly 4 players in Flames white jerseys on the ice, and unless you're on the power play and the Preds were on the penalty kill, that is too many men in the overtime period. But what's this? The refs are only gonna call offside. The Preds protest, and the refs and the linesmen get together, and yes, the Flames will get called for too many men on the ice. Now, I know what some Preds fans were saying. They were disappointed that the Preds could not convert in such a key opportunity on a power play. And yes, it was a little frustrating. But to their credit, what the Preds didn't allow to happen by having the puck on the power play is that was 1 minute and 12 seconds that the Flames didn't get any major possession or any chances to score and win the game on Saros. The Preds basically keep away, even though they didn't score the 3-2 goal in the overtime period. Clock winds down. This game is still tied at 2, and it's going to need the gimmick to decide it. In the shootout, you would have Forsberg, who would go first for the Preds. He would hit the post. Then you would have Gaudreau, who was up next for the Flames, but he's stopped by Saros. Then Duchene with a great chance, but Vladimir makes the save. Then Matt Tkachuk seemingly tries to pull the Peter Forsberg deke out on Saros. He's not buying it. He is stopped, and we're off to the third round of the shooters. Now, for the Preds' third shooter, do you guys all remember the last time the Preds were in a shootout? It was at home on Rene's retirement night. Who answered the bell? John Hines remembers who it was. Sometimes we think, oh, don't leave him till last, but he knows a thing or two. Leave him till last so the Flames don't have an answer for him if he's successful. And he says, number 64, Mikael Granlund, you're up. Granlund jumps out there. He's ready. He takes the puck out wide to Vladir's right as he skates in towards the net. He makes Vladimir think that he's going to go cross ice past him, but he waits for a 5-hole to open, tucks it home, giving the Preds a 1-0 lead in the shootout. Then Tyler Toffoli is the Flames' last chance in this game. He skates in. He can't beat Saros. Saros makes the save. Huge 2 points for the Preds in their playoff hunt as they beat the Flames overall by a score of 3-2. Well, this team just has a knack to show up in big games when you least expect them to. 2 weeks ago, I know a lot of you weren't expecting them to beat Minnesota, especially since in the last, 17 games I heard, Minnesota has only lost 1 time, and it was to us. Tonight, the second best team in the Western Conference was in town. I know a lot of you weren't expecting to win this game. I wasn't totally expecting to win this game. But I felt like this team had something in them after Sunday's embarrassment to get it done. It's fun to be the underdog. It's what made 2017 in the spring so memorable. I'm not saying this team is like that team trying to equate the two yet. Let's just enjoy the ride that is this team this year with older, experienced players being coupled with a bunch of young, ragtime, up-and-coming rookies who are trying to make a name for themselves in this league, kind of like the first Stanley Cup playoff appearance for the Preds back in 2004 was. Now, for all the Preds fans watching this who invested blood, sweat, and your time Monday night in watching Vancouver and Jersey, watching those games and rooting for those teams to win, are you ready for Wednesday night? Because the Preds are off until Saturday. Wednesday night, the Preds need you for 2 crucial games for rooting interest. Are you in? So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching this video. As always, hit like if you like this video. Hit subscribe if you really like it. You can find my social media by clicking on the channel name. Tell all your friends about Redemption. And I got a big question for you, Preds Nation. Who's ready to be a big Washington Capitals fan Wednesday night?